What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is JD from leterrip Adventures. We have a huge announcement for the channel, and we kind of decided to change things up.
Let's go!
Now, if you're not familiar with the channel, we have a 2021 XP Turbo 4-seater, and then we also have a 2023 Polaris Scrambler, and then we also had another one of those, and that was my wife's machine. Now, if anybody that's watched the channel, everybody realizes my wife is teeny. She weighs maybe 100 pounds wet, and that Scrambler was too much machine for her. She did not enjoy driving it. She did not enjoy trying to control it. Overall, it was just too big for her as far as the rider's concerned. So we switched it up. Now, I'm not going to show you, but it is right over there. So we decided to switch it up to the point where we have the ability to get into a different aspect of the whole off-roading game. So am I excited about it? Yes. Is it new to us? Sure is. But before we get to what the new rig is, if you're new to the channel, kind of give you a breakdown of what we've got for rigs currently. Now, like I said, we have the 21 XP Turbo 4-seater. Purchased this rig, I would say maybe 3-4 months ago in regards to that. What have we all done to this machine since we've got it? Now, it did come with the roof, did come with the windshield, and it did come with the winch, which you can see up there. Now, that is a OEM winch, Polaris winch. That is a, I believe, Polaris snap-in easy clip windshield. We did install a light bar. That is just a Nylite light bar. They're only about, I don't know, 50 bucks on Amazon. Snagged that up, threw that in there. As far as the front end is concerned, did put the fang lights on here. And then we did do the Super ATV high-rise A-arms. Now, anybody knows that there is definitely other companies out there, HCR, all those guys build a phenomenal product, but for the price point of a non-adjustable set of high-rise A-arms, now they are not the forward offset, just the regular offset A-arms, non-adjustable, they're extremely affordable with a lifetime guarantee. So if I go out, beat on them, bend them, mess them up, send them a picture, get some new ones. That's why we went with Super ATV. Affordable and easy. Okay, so you also see here, guys, we got a couple stickers on the front here. They are actually sponsors of the channel. We do have some RPM and some Bikeman products on this machine. Now, it is tuned with a PV3 with a DynoJet Stage 2 tune. I buy the license, I flash it, I do all that stuff. But as far as modifications in regards to the Bikeman and the RPM stuff, I'll show you up in there. We do have their J-tube. We do have the external blow-off valve, which you can't see, but it's tucked up in there. And then we do have the intake tube. So J-tube, external blow-off valve, intake tube. And then if you come around to this side, and I want to show you what's over there, we have the larger air intake coming from your air intake down to your air filter box. We have that as well. Now, I did have, let me turn this light off. I did have the RPM exhaust on there, and I loved it. I liked it. But the thing is I want to find a combination of pieces and parts that work well with the rigs that I currently got. So for giggles, we did take the RPM sport muffler off of there, which we'll throw up a clip right now. As you can see, it sounded good. It barked. Now, you guys can leave in the comments whether or not which one you think sounds better next time we're out, and then we'll kind of compare. We'll throw a side by side, but this is the Bikeman exhaust. Okay, so you guys have been killing it on the affiliate link. People are saving hundreds of dollars, and as far as the RPM and the Bikeman stuff, we do have discount codes for both of those companies, and if you use leterrip, it will actually save you guys 5%. So without me showing you what's over my shoulder over there, the new rig, we also have the 2023. Oh, don't forget, we got a couple other things. Did do the door inserts and the LOYO lights, and then we also have rock lights up in there. So other than that, that's exactly what we've done to it. Oh, don't forget tires and rims. Jeez, guy, get it together. Do got the Tuss, the 6.1 offset, bead locks, sitting on 32-inch Tuss terabytes. Great tire, great rim setup. And if you ask me, that candy looks good. Looks good. So now we have the 23 Polaris Scrambler 1000S. I love this machine. It is extremely capable. I've taken it to Tennessee, Moab, all over the country, duned it, jumped it. You guys have heard the sob story before. It's absolutely awesome. So one of the lacking, I guess, performance issues that I had with the Scrambler is you would think with a 950 some cc parallel twin packed under the seat of this thing that when you snap on it, you would anticipate that it would almost flip you over backwards. I know the 1000 Can-Ams, you know, as far as the Renegades and stuff, you do that, it will indeed, it'll flip you over backwards. So what have we done to get that initial hit out of this machine? And I'll kind of walk you around, show you what we've all done. Now, these things come with the light bar and the hand guards and all that stuff. Does not come with a winch, so we've got a 3,500 pound bolt-in winch. Do have an install video of that. It was extremely easy, extremely quick, so we do have the winch on that. Now, also have the fender flares, because anybody knows the S's, they are wide. You can still see that you are going to have some stuff kicking up, but anticipate that you're riding a Scrambler, you're going to get dirty, you're going to get messy. So coming back to our sponsors, coming around back here, tucked up in there, which if you were not, you know, told that that's an aftermarket exhaust, there is the RPM high flow exhaust for the Scrambler. Sounds awesome. I think it's the way these machines should sound from the factory. I get why they've got the quiet cores and the spark arresters and blah blah blah, but it sounds absolutely awesome. So we've got fender flares, the winch we did the install, we did the RPM exhaust, put the storage bag. Game changer. I wasn't sure if it was going to like adapt with our riding style or whether or not we would like it, but it is phenomenal. You know, you throw some food, some snacks, some drinks, my camera gear, all that stuff in there. Game changer. And the looks kind of grow on you. I wasn't sure at first. Now inside, clutches. That's the next thing. We did have a sponsor. We had Rota Powerline out of Finland reached out and he said, you know what, I've got the rest of what you need to liven this Scrambler up. And I said, okay, what's that? And he said, I'll send you some stuff. So on the clutch aspect of things, we've got the stage 1 clutch kit in there, which is the springs, the weights, and then that's primary, secondary springs, and then the weight set up. And we also put his rollers, took out the square pucks, put in the rollers for the secondary. Night and day difference. You can put the power to the ground, and if I were to compare that to my wife's machine, which is bone stock, it was hard to pull the tires up. You had to work at it. This thing, from a dead stop, hammer on it, it will now indeed pick the tires up. So we've got it clutched. We also got it tuned. We went through RVS. Those guys are killing it in the Sportsman, the Scrambler aspect of things, and they sent me a 12 horsepower tune. So just like the Razorback there, got my license, flashed it, did what I needed to do, threw that 12 horsepower tune on there. So within the combination of the clutching, the exhaust from RPM, the RVS tune, this thing is a completely different unit to drive. The throttle response is snappy, it's enjoyable, you can keep the tires up between rollers going down the trails, and it wheelies like a boss. So I'm really happy in the direction that the Scrambler's going, and I was kind of bummed that we did let the other one go. So with that being said, we're going to throw up a quick little montage here, and we'll show you what the new unit is. Check it out. Alright guys, so there it is. As you can see, we snagged ourselves up a 2024 brand new Polaris Sportsman 850 High Lifter Edition. Now, what I need from you guys in the comments section, let me know if there's anything in particular I need to look for or I need to watch out for on these high lifters. I've seen some of the horror stories from not only, you know, Can-Am, but Polaris. Everybody has their issues, and if you guys are familiar with these rigs, which I am not, I did enough research to be dangerous and to purchase one, but if there's anything that I need to know or be aware of, please throw it in the comment section, something that I need to, you know, take care of to prolong the life of this machine. One thing, me personally, that I am going to do to this machine is I am going to blow it apart. I'm going to pull the plastics and stuff off. I am most likely going to silicone all of the intake tubes as far as the snorkel kits are concerned, because if from factory you cannot, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's, because if you guys are not familiar, this is what happened with this machine. I picked it up brand new, left the showroom floor 4 miles down the road. It overheated, turned the check engine light, and left my wife sitting on the side of the road. The dealer that I purchased it from, they obviously made it right. They come and got my wife, picked up the machine, dropped my wife off at home, took the machine back to the shop, put it on the bud system, ran the computer, checked the ECU. Nothing was detrimental or would compromise the integrity of the engine of this thing, but it's not ideal how you want to break your machine in by overheating it and cooking it at the gills and forcing it to go into limp mode. No bueno. So I'm going to be contacting Polaris, letting them know that I did have that issue with this machine, and if it does give me any problems down the road, I'm going to make aware of it, and hopefully it did not hurt the integrity of this machine. So no fault to the dealer. I don't blame those guys one bit. Yeah, quality control for any one of these companies, whether or not that's a Can-Am or a Polaris, I feel has declined. So the point of that is that's why I'm going to go through and check all the snorkel system and stuff on this to guarantee that it is going to be okay. I'm going to dielectric grease all of the electrical connections, probably silicone all of my snorkel kits to make sure that this is 100%. And if you're curious, the issue was from Polaris, from the factory, from the showroom floor. They never plugged the coolant fans in this machine. So anyway, enough of that. Get it together, Polaris. Calling you out on that one. Anyway, so this thing is sitting on the Outlaw 2 tires, 30-inch tires. Look at the freaking lugs on that thing. Supposedly those are aluminum rims, but if you're looking at the same thing I am, we'll go to the other side here. They look to be steelies to me, but dual exhaust out the back. Everything is, I'll turn the light on here. As you can see, everything is high-rise as far as the A-arms and stuff are concerned. It is geared and stuff a little different. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but it is actually, sorry about my hand there, turning the light up. It is geared a little different in the transmission. I think the top speed on this rig is maybe 52 miles an hour. So everything is pretty straightforward as far as that stuff's concerned. It does have some nice storage in the rear here, which I'm kind of a fan of. Can actually get some stuff back there. They say it's supposed to be, I'll turn the light on. They say it's supposed to be dry storage or whatever the case is. We'll see if it actually keeps anything dry when we do put it back there. But it does come with the snorkel kit, as you can see here. It does got your snorkel kit. We'll remove this real quick. Now, I've never dealt in any of the I like playing in the mud. I do not mind. As you can see right there, it does got the radiator relocate kit, dual fans, and your snorkel kits. Does not have a winch or anything on this thing. As you can see, no winch on that old girl right there. Kind of a bummer, but we will indeed be getting a set of our winch for this thing. And then, as you can see, she's pretty straightforward. Now, I had debated, oh, let me shut this light off. That light is no joke. Anyway, I had debated on getting the Highlifter 1000. Now, if anybody's not familiar with this, you know, lineup or whatever the case is, they do have a 1000 version of this, but it is $5,000 to $6,000 more. What is the difference you get between this rig right here and the 1000 is you get front bumper, rear bumper, already installed winch, some painted, you know, like, you know, this stuff right here, like all that and that right there is actually painted from factory, which I'm not willing to spend an extra $5,000, $6,000 to get a little more power and a couple bells and whistles. Everybody knows you always change it anyway, so that's why I don't mind going with the base model due to the fact that I usually change it, put my own stuff on it anyway. So saved the $5,000, $6,000, got the 850. The only concerning part for me is the fact between the 1000 and the 850 is power steering. So you realize that, you know, these Outlaw 2s, these 30s, you start putting it in a mud hole, and for some to try to, you know, do what you need to do here to get those to move with no power steering, I could see being a problem in the long run. Whether or not that becomes an issue, we'll deal with it at that point, but pretty straightforward. So anybody in this industry that's familiar, you kind of get the setup, you know the setup on the, you know, the mud orientated rig. And like I stated, I don't mind playing in the mud. I really don't. I don't mind playing in the mud if you have a machine that is set up and orientated to play in the mud. You know, if it's made to do it, I'm gonna do it. So all those mud holes you guys always gave me problems for, all the stuff that I used to go around, I'm gonna go out of my way now to find it. The wife really is excited about this. She's the one that drove it home. She drove it around a little bit here. I'm trying to stay off the blacktop because everybody realizes those tires are not going to last very long on blacktop. But she is super stoked to get this thing stuffed in some mud holes this next year. And then for us, for the season that we've got coming up, we've got snow coming up. So we're hoping that we can find ourselves some forest roads or some old logging roads and see how these things do chooching through the freaking snow. Now I do follow guys like Asta Cruiser and stuff, and he keeps his mud tires on. The amount of snow these things will chooch through when we get a decent amount on the ground. Really excited to see what this thing's capabilities are this next winter. So you guys seen at the beginning, you can see old girl, we got the worm parked inside. I put the Scrambler outside to do this video to show you guys what we have gotten ourselves into. Whole new atmosphere, a whole new different game, and as far as the world of a machine orientated for playing in the mud. I know it's hard on a rig. I know it's hard on wheel bearings and seals and everything you can imagine that comes along with mud. But I am super stoked to have a rig that I could stuff in the freaking mud holes up to about here. So once again, guys, if you are in this game, if you're in the mudding world, and if there's something specific to these Sportsman high lifters that I should do to protect the integrity or the longevity of this machine, please put it in the comments and let me know. I'm open to, listen, to learn some of the tricks of the trade, and I'm sure I'll learn some of these lessons the hard way, breaking axles and all kinds of stuff with these stupid ass freaking tires on this thing. But either way, super stoked to have a new rig on the lineup. Hope you guys are excited as well to kind of change up some of the stuff that we bring to the channel. So we got the worm to take the family and stuff out, to do some rock crawling, to do some adventuring, go on some of our overland trips. We've got the Toyota Tacoma, which is an extremely capable rig that gets us to the places we need to get to. We've got the Scrambler, which you have all seen on my channel. One of the most capable rigs. Sounds good, drives good, performance is good, all because of the companies that are supporting LETERRIP, and most of all, you guys. Don't forget, guys, use those affiliate links. Use LETERRIP on LOYO Lights, GLife UTV, RPM, Bikeman Performance, all that. Use LETERRIP, saves you guys 5%. I'm seeing the statistics, guys, and people are saving hundreds of dollars. You can do it too. Either which way, guys, you guys are awesome. If you haven't already, mash that subscribe so you guys can stay in the loop when we start mobbing this thing through the mud puddles, continuing to advance the worm, gonna put a cage and some other stuff on, and obviously letting the Scrambler rip, because that thing by far for me in the fleet so far is the funnest rig. So if you haven't, mash that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell if you want to see content, one LETERRIP adventure post, and like always, appreciate each and every one of you, and on to the next adventure.